Well, Ekurhuleni Human Settlements MMC, Kgopelo joins us to give us more on those developments. Thank you so much for joining us, MMC. Quite the day. I mean, the country watching what's happening in Germiston today with close eyes. But I think just as the Department of Human Settlements in Ekurhuleni, your reaction to the burning down of the Home Affairs building, just as we kick off.
Good evening, Naledi and viewers. The burning of Home Affairs offices, it's a criminal act, which it cannot be condoned. No matter how angry community are, they've got no right to go to the government buildings, especially which their purpose is to offer services to our people, and then they destroy those buildings. We wish that law enforcement agencies can move swiftly in arresting those criminals who have tortured this building.
You know, obviously there's the link here, and what we're hearing is reports that the torching of the Home Affairs building is as a result of the eviction from this Pharaoh Park Flats. And I'm keen to hear, just from your perspective, the beginning of this entire process. So at what point Human Settlements looked at this particular area, the Pharaoh Park Flats, and said we have a problem there from the very beginning up until we reach the point that we're at? And I know that I'm asking for quite a long timeline here, but assist us with it if you can, as swiftly as you can.
These have been going on for a very long time, as much as I remember, Naledi. Back in 2016, when I started to be a councillor, every quarter we will get the report that the Ekurhuleni Housing Company has a revenue shortfall. And that's due to the fact that those who entered into agreement with the entity, they just choose not to pay anymore for whatever reasons are known. As we took over last year in April, we went to the complexes ourselves. Just to give an example, with the complex in question, which is Pharaoh Park, we've got 440 units there. And out of 440, we've got only 57 tenants who are compliant and are paying their rent. And then all 383 units we cannot account for at all. And remember, Naledi, these are the units of which by their nature they were designed to generate the revenue for the city. So these are the rental stock. They are not the free houses like your RDPs, which a certain threshold will be required to qualify for occupation. These are the employees who are earning higher salaries. However, for some reason, they just choose not to pay the city anymore. That's when, after various engagements with them, with myself as the MMC, I went to these complexes and I tried to give notices, to hand over notices to the tenants. However, they just ignored. We tried to move in back in March to try and disconnect services to some of these complexes. However, still community members came to our council buildings protesting. We addressed them that please come on board. Let's sit down and let's see how best can we assist you so that you can try and meet this shortfall. However, we were unsuccessful, Naledi, and we approached a court, which have on the 26th of June granted us an eviction order, and we have executed that earlier today.
Yeah, just as we go back to this, the process of engagements, which I think a lot of the technicalities then start to come in, right? You know, just how many engagements there were, how difficult those were, and if the residents were themselves given an opportunity to put their argument before the court as to why they were unable to pay their rent? I mean, were those opportunities given to residents?
Well, the tenants were well represented. They had their legal team representing them. And I think our case was clear that these are people who are earning an income, a living income, and they've entered into agreement that they have to pay certain amount every month, but they just decided not to pay anymore. As I've mentioned earlier, that we went on ground ourselves to try engage with some of these tenants that please come, let's sit down with the entity and ourselves as the department and see how best can we assist you. We have offered all possible alternatives. Also, we have offered those who are unemployed currently that they need to apply for fully subsidized houses, which are RDP houses. They have raised some of their frustrations that the system rejects them due to the fact that now they are occupying government units. However, the system can be overrated. Those who came forth with the proof and documentations showing that indeed these people are unemployed and they don't receive any form of income, we were able to assist them to apply for RDP houses, and they are part of our waiting list. So those who got evicted today, purely they just refuse to pay, and they do have income and they do have means to can pay.
And just for the sake of clarity, you said 57 of these units had tenants there that were compliant. So have those tenants been untouched during this process of the eviction, just for the sake of clarity?
That's correct, Naledi. Those 57, they were not evicted. They are continuing to enjoy their stay with the city.
Okay. And one of the big questions is where those that have been evicted will spend the night. Is the Human Settlements Department seeing that as your responsibility?
So we've got the qualifying tenants. These are the tenants of which they've entered into agreement with the city that they will be able to pay rental. However, for some reason they've defaulted. We are arranging. We have arranged alternative accommodation for those. But also we've got tenants and many of them which we don't know. We suspect that they are subletting because they keep on, when we interviewing them, they keep on mentioning that, oh, but I've paid my rent this month. We say, but we don't know as the city, who did you pay your rent to? Unfortunately, they don't want to disclose these people they are paying rent to. And then we will just treat them as such because they does not have any form of lease agreement with us.
What happens now to the Pharaoh Park flats? So the plans that the department has for that particular residence, especially when you consider just the state that it's in, and maybe that's where we should start, how you describe the state of it when you've got the mayor today, while speaking to the media, saying that you're seeing in some instances, and he goes to talk about leaders needing to be firm, otherwise we'll see lawlessness and non-compliance and the building going into wrong hands.
I think Executive Mayor was referring to the fact that we suspect that there's a syndicate which they are collecting rentals to the tenants whom are unknown to the city. But also there are buildings across the road. These are private property buildings, and then they got hijacked. So I think he was referring to that. There are lots of criminal activities taking place around there. But as EHC concerned, we are only dealing with the rental stock flats, which we are managing as the entity.
All right. Well, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. And certainly an interesting day coming out of Ekurhuleni. Lots of work to be done. And in fact, before I let you go, any interactions between human settlements and home affairs, as we see two departments today heavily involved?
Indeed, the city, we were there during the day with the officials from the Home Affairs. As the city, we are going to offer them alternative building to utilize in the meantime while they are still waiting for a solution in this regard.
In the timeframes of that alternative building?
No, we are offering it immediately. It's up to them when they can be ready to utilize it.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Kgopelo Hollo is the MMC for Human Settlements in Ekurhuleni. You are still watching Newsfeed PM, late edition. We do have more news on the other side of this short break. Stay with us.